Hi you guys, it's Mrs. Lees. We are doing page 9 in your grammar packet for the month of October. Please make sure you're on the right page. There should be a picture of some trick-or-treaters in the top right-hand corner. And we're going to go ahead and continue practicing commas. So here's another page and another way that we might need to use a comma in a sentence. It says when a sentence begins with a phrase called an introductory element, or you can call it an introductory phrase, you got to use a comma after it to separate it from the rest of the sentence. So here's what we mean. Number 1, after we went to the haunted house, comma, we went trick-or-treating. So notice that this is an introductory element, or I like to call it an introductory phrase. It gives me a phrase explaining something before I read the subject of the sentence. The subject of the sentence is we went trick-or-treating, but here's an introductory phrase coming before it, and we need to separate it with a comma. Let's look at number 2. At my friend's house, comma, we got to carve pumpkins together. So again, here's what the sentence is about. We are carving pumpkins together, and it tells us where or when. And so these phrases are being introduced at the beginning, and they need to be separated by a comma. I'll also do number 3 for you, just to help you get started. While my cousin was telling a scary story, his voice was spooky. So the sentence is about his voice being spooky, and he's telling us that this was being told while his cousin was telling a scary story, so it needs to be separated. I want you to try number 4 through 12. Make sure you read it. When you read it out loud, you'll hear where the phrase ends and where to put the comma. Because if I read this correctly, I would say out loud, while my cousin was telling a scary story, his voice was spooky. Notice I pause here where the comma belongs. Okay, let's see what it wants us to do at the bottom. It says write 2 sentences about Halloween. You could do it real or make-believe, so real or fake. But we're going to have to do an introductory element with a comma. I'll do 2 examples, and then I want you to come up with 2 of your own. So again, an introductory phrase. If you want to use any of the ones from the examples, you're more than welcome to. So if I said, after school, comma, we dressed up for Halloween. So my introductory phrase is at the beginning, and it's telling the reader when, and because it's at the beginning of the sentence, we put a comma, okay? Here's another one. When we get back from trick or treating, comma, we can eat our candy. So there's my introduction. When we get back from trick-or-treating, we can eat our candy. And this needs to be a capital W. That doesn't look capitalized, sorry, as it's the beginning of a sentence. Okay, you guys, I want you to come up with your own, and I want you to finish the top part. All right, you guys, that's all you're doing for page 9, practicing those commas.